Just expecting few more people to join. Everyone, I'm Ritesh from Onshority, and I'll be your host for today's Wellness Wednesday session. Today's conversation is extremely relevant to the way we live and work. In our busy routine, long hours, irregular meals, poor sleep, and constant stress have quietly become the norm. Yet the reality concerning lifestyle diseases like diabetes, hypertension, fatty liver, and obesity are rising rapidly, often developing silently, long before we notice something is wrong. Many early signs like fatigue, low energy, disturbed sleep, frequent headaches are often ignored or brushed aside as just work stress. Today's session is about changing that. Welcome to Lifestyle Diseases and Preventive Health, a space to understand what's happening inside our body, recognizing early warning signs, and learn how small, constant changes can protect our ter- lifelong diseases and health, changing that entire phase of life. So, today we'll explore what lifestyle diseases are and why they matter today. Common conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, fatty liver, and obesity, the silent killer symptoms you should not ignore, subtle warning signs, and when to seek medical help. Simple, practical, preventive strategies that fit into everyday work life. We are joined by an expert, Megha Kothari, clinical dietitian in collaboration with Healing Together. Megha has years of experience working across multi-specialty hospital and clinical settings. She specializes in metabolic health, preventive care, combines evidence-based nutrition and practical lifestyle strategies to help individuals build subtle, sustainable, healthier habits. So this is an interactive session, guys. So please feel free to share your question in the chat. We'll address them during the Q&A towards the. Over to you, Megha.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I will directly love to jump to my slides. It's a beautiful brief what we are going to talk here have given us. So now why we are there, what is lifestyle disease? Let's talk about it. Let's understand it. So lifestyle diseases, what are they are and why they matter. Lifestyle diseases is also called as non-communicable diseases, known as NCDs. There are health problems. There are health problems that is gradually increasing in many years. This is just not caused by cold, cough, germs, or viral infection. Lifestyle diseases happens because of people living in our day-to-day life. Common example is diabetes, hypertension, cancer, And the biggest problem is that it starts very quietly. People do not feel only sick. The body try to adjust the stress level, bad habits, usually eating unhealthy food, sleeping irregular patterns, uh, stress level has been induced nowadays, and not having a time for yourself, giving a qualitative time. Many people continues their daily life without knowing the important changes happen inside their bodies. It's about 71% of all the deaths worldwide happening because of the lifestyle diseases. That means more than 7 out of 10 people are die in a year because of lifestyle diseases. So we need to, bull up our in India, there is a 60%, 60% of cases there because of the lifestyle diseases, majorly heart diseases, cancer, and diabetes. And the people, the awareness is very less. That's why we need this sessions. More than half of the people die in India is because of the lifestyle diseases. Because of this, it doesn't call the death, but it makes adverse effects in well-being. People lose their strength, feeling tired, trouble in normal day-to-day activities. This is often due to low quality of life, in and out of the hospital, frequent doctor visits, and lifestyle restrictions. It is just not affecting a one individual, but it is, feeling like a stress, sad, anxious, and even lose the motivation of enjoying their day-to-day lifestyle. And the thing is, it's not just the individual, but the most important is their family members also hampering because of that. But the best part is it is preventable, it is controllable. So we need a proper education how to control. If we are eat healthy, regular exercise, sleep well, manage our stress, avoid smoking, drinking too much, and we can reduce the risk factor of these diseases. The diagnosis early, lifestyle changes, treatment can help the management and control these diseases. How we can do it, that is the major thing. So eventually we need to grow up and understand the thing, and the basic thing we need to see the diseases. We should know the early symptoms and how we can cope up it. So we will talk about some different dietary intervention test, what we should do in for the early detection and prevention. So let's come and discuss different diseases what we see in our day-to-day life due to the bad lifestyle uh, habits. The first is diabetes. So basically, diabetes is the health problem which is, happening just because of the blood glucose level has been raised high. And it is just not the disease, it is happening in many ways, where the sugar level give us energy, but when it stays too high, it hurts our body. There are two major types of diabetes. One type is type 1 and type 2, but the major thing which I want to talk is about the type 2 diabetes. Since then there is the 90% the cases are of type 2 diabetes. So basically the insulin is not produced well, or it is not enough to digest your sugar level. it leads to high blood sugar level. So there is also, if it is not controlled properly, the type 2 long term poorly controlled type 2 diabetes, that it can raise the risk of Alzheimer disease. Because of these conditions, people sometimes call as Alzheimer disease or type 3 diabetes. So let us discuss how diabetes happen. The you know like type 2 diabetes develop slowly, quietly, and there is no symptoms. So because of unhealthy eating, overweight, not moving enough, being stressed can cause it. Because it is starting very slowly, the symptoms are very, you can't see it out. And India is one of the highest number of cases in the 77, approximately 77 Indians are suffering from diabetes, and that's why our country is also known as the capital of diabetes, which is something which is alarming. So let's see the sign and symptoms that you should not ignore and check out for if you're suffering from the diabetes, to identify, majorly identify the diabetes. First is feeling thirsty. Your going frequency of going to urination increase, feeling thirsty, feeling very tired, losing weight, or a blur vision, or a slow healing of cut wounds. If these are the symptoms, now we should check. We should check by a physician or a doctor's. There are certain tests which we should do it. Is a fasting sugar, which gives you a random, random sugars. So this will help you to understand whether the sugar levels are high or not. But the major thing which everyone should do it at least once a year is HbA1c. If you're diagnosed or you have a history of family history of diabetes, then doctor may recommend you for you know may recommended you for some test more, because there are tests which we need to get it done eventually once a year. And because of diabetes, and if we don't control on time, then it may lead to heart diseases, kidney damage, vision loss, nerve problem. So basically prevention is better than cure. Early checkup and healthy habits are important. And the best part is type 2 diabetes can be managed and prevent strategy. And we'll see in upcoming slides that how we can manage it out. Now coming to the high blood pressure is a BP locally, because the blood pressure increase in our blood pressure is being increased because of blood is pushing the wall of our vessels of heart, and our heart needs to pump more harder for supplying the blood, which gives extra efforts which our heart need to pull. And the blood vessels are being strained. So hypertension is oftenly called a silent killer, and this is because most of are not having symptoms like early stages. Person may look like feeling normal, but inside the blood vessels, heart are being stressed. If high blood pressure is not controlled, it leads to a severe heart diseases, stroke, kidney damage, vision loss. So I feel a regular checkup is more important. And because Earlier, the seniors were only the one who used to get it. But nowadays, because of the lifestyle, the early 30s also people getting the hypertension. And it is not normal and it should not be ignored. Due to our stress level, long working hours, poor sleep, unhealthy food, lack of exercise, excessive salt intake, inheritance, alcohol, smoking, sitting for long hours, screening is also an so prevention can be prevented, but lifestyle modification is necessary. Now, how to see and cope up with if you're diagnosed with the BP? It is very common, but we need some steps to follow it out. Okay, it should be managed well. So first thing, take medicine regularly. Reduce the salt intake and the packet food. Eat more fruits, vegetables, and whole foods. Be physically active at least for 30 minutes a day. Manage your breathing, walking, or relaxation. Avoid smoking, limited alcohol, or avoiding completely alcohol. Get regular sleep. So, hypertension does not develop overnight, it does not control your life. It should be the action, daily care, daily monitoring should be. Blood pressure can be controlled and the complication can be taken, because if taking care of your blood pressure today, you're protecting your heart, brain, kidney, and future health. So, upcoming one of the most common, obesity. Obesity is basically too much body fat which is in our body and which is bad. Now, obesity is the major risk factor for severe lifestyle diseases. Severe lifestyle diseases such as diabetes, blood pressure, heart diseases, liver problem, and some symptoms uh, of cancer also. Some types of cancers which is symptomatic to the obesity. And because of that, the inflammation increases, chronic inflammation increases, and make our body work hard. The central or the belly fat is the visceral fat is very like poisonous, but it is one of the most common thing and which affects the insulin problem also. That's why obesity is called as the queen, like like a queen doesn't walk alone. She is also coming with diabetes, hypertension, and other comorbidities. Uh, so it is harmful in insulin problems also, and it also affects the body also, like bone, joints, and extra pressure is being added to it. Hormonal imbalance is there, and also affects the metabolism, making it harder for your body to use food as the energy source, because the energy is being used to manage it out the inflammation. That's why. Now when it comes to the other thing as in metabolic syndromes, so metabolic syndrome is also very common nowadays. It's a group of health problems that happens together. This includes belly fat, high blood pressure, high sugar levels, unhealthy cholesterol level together increase the risk of diabetes, hypertension, strokes. And many people think overweight people gets these problems, but it is a bigger myth. Some people like air hostesses, those who are busy with lifestyle, may look slim, may look fit from outside, but they have a high body fat due to stress, poor sleep, irregular meal pattern, and little exercise. Metabolic syndromes has no any symptoms, but regular health check and healthy habits can only prevent this. Okay, because if we don't identify, then we end up the problem. Coming up to the liver diseases, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease or NFLD happens when too much fat buildups in the liver in the people who drink or no alcohol, a very little drink, or they don't drink only. It is closely linked to diabetes, metabolic disorders, and sedentary lifestyle. In the early stages, the fatty liver doesn't show any kind of symptoms. When it is damaged 70%, you will see some symptoms. So many a time we don't know only that we are having a fatty liver. So regular checkup is one of the most important thing. And if it's not seen, the worst is like liver failure. Now there is another term as MASH, metabolic acidosis of steatotic hepatitis, where the fat and the inflammation both damage the liver. And early lifestyle management can be help and prevent the diseases. So now talking about some other also, stroke and heart health. Stroke is basically what? When the blood supply is suddenly stopped to the brain, and this can be happen usually when the blood vessel is blocked or the burst. Now when the brain is not getting enough blood or the oxygen, the bloods you know get started damage, or because of that, stroke is one of the major things which needs massive immediate medical uh, thing. Like if you don't go to the medical office or hospital, medical emergency is needed in this. And the major cause of this stroke is high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, smoking, stress level, poor sleep, and it plays a bigger role and a bigger picture of it. Over the time, this problem damage the blood vessels and make them a weak or nerve. Due to this, we need. I will explain you through a one example. So there was a one IT profession who works for a very long hours of day. They sits for like 12 hours, skips meals, eating fast food, sleeping irregularly, and he's on constantly under the pressure. He may look like fine outside managing you know very well, but inside the body is very stressed, mass up. The body pressure, his blood pressure has been increased, sugar level has been increased slowly one day due to the high uh, blood pressure, uncontrolled blood pressure. He may suffer from a stroke. After a stroke, some people, you know, he has a very long prolong. He will have a trouble in speaking, maybe having a trouble in the movement, basic physical activity. He needs, he will lose his independency. Basically, like if he wants to go to the washroom or something, he needs someone help. It's like uh, creating it out. So the independency is important because walking, daily activities we need it. And it is not affecting the person, but the family is also affected. So the best news is that we can prevent the stores. And just by making a small changes, checking your blood pressure regularly, sugar regularly, managing your stress, eating healthy food, and take care of your lifestyle today, help to protect your brain, future health. Coming up to the next part, the most important is the heart disease. And what are the heart diseases? Coronary heart diseases, or heart attack, or heart failure. So heart attack is sudden stop of heart And heart failure is the when your heart doesn't work properly. Okay, this is the long time risk because of poor diet, lack of disease. Major cause is smoking, stress, diabetes, and high cholesterol. Due to this, it damaged the heart. It damaged the heart, and because of that, the walls are getting, clotted by a plug, and because of making it out, the blood flow is being stopped by a plug. Heart disease are one of the most leading cause of death. 32% of heart disease has been, the people die and they don't know. So to prevent, the doctors ask some tests like ECGs, treadmill known as a stress test, blood pressure, cholesterol, sugar, because regular checkup is one of the most important thing after 30s. And if you have a risk factor of family history, a blood pressure, or diabetes, changes in the lifestyle and early test can help you to prevent and serious heart problems. So you need to change a bit of your lifestyle and taking your checkup very seriously, yearly at least. Okay. Now coming to the last part as the cancer. What are cancer? It is dysfunction of the cell because of the lifestyle. Recently, there are many cancers are being such as breast cancer, colon cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancers are increased across the world. The major reasons of this is unhealthy habit, and it is most common because cancer is the long-term exposure. Problems like obesity, poor choice of food, lack of, you know, physical activities, alcohol, smoking, and constant stress. The major cause is stress only. And it doesn't cause one day, it is growing slowly, gradually because of blood sugar levels, include insulin resistance, and harm the cells. So, cancer is often does not suddenly, like growing suddenly is not the pattern. It is growing very over years and years. We need to see that the cancers are preventable by some of the vaccination and the majorly lifestyle changes. So stress is something that we need to manage in our day-to-day life. Now, why and what are the reasons? We need to cope up and we need to see uh, the health problems are. There are nine basically the reasons the people are facing uh, lifestyle modification. So let's look up to in this what are the factors which we are facing it out. The first foremost is the urbanization, unhealthy modern habits. So earlier the people live active life, they walked more, they eat more, they eat fresh food, they woke up with the sun and they go to the bed with the sun. Their body is having a very particular pattern of eating, and nowadays what we are doing the opposite. We like sit for constantly a couple of hours, eat more of packaged foods, sleep very late, live under the constant stress. The bigger lifestyle shift has been disturbed. The body balance has been goes up and down, and the risk of chronic disease has been increased because of our lifestyle. And the motive of the session is to educating you. The second factor is the environmental factors. Even the environmental factors has a very important role. Coming to the part of lifestyle is it. Air pollution affects the lung and the heart. Noise pollution affects, the stress level and the blood pressure. Soil and water pollution, majorly soil and water pollution is always affecting overall health because what we eat come from a soil. Long-term exposure to the pollution is always increasing the inflammation and damage inside our body. So how to prevent it out? Basically, there are many diseases we are born from, heart diseases or metabolic diseases. These are given by our environment only. And we need to cope up with that. There are major cons about the food adulteration, you know, ex and excessive use of preservatives. Food may contain artificial colors, chemicals, harmful substance, and disturbs in the our whole digestion system, hormonal level, immunity level also, and because of their increase the risk of obesity and chronic diseases. So to avoid that, we should do, you know, we cannot control, but we can reduce the risk of it. So packaged foods can be avoided. We during the COVIDs, we used to wash twice, thrice the food to stay away. So we can do it at least regular basisly. Avoid, uh, you know, uh, local and food is commendable. Like whatever you eat, manage your stress and uh, regular health checkup is one of the most important thing. Coming to the next point is physical activity. Like, physical inact we are more of the time physically inactive. Like now we are sitting together. In the past, people move all day without thinking, like walking to the place, work in the fields, carrying the loads, using muscles naturally. Like they don't need to think it out. They don't need to go to gym. Movements was the part of their life. Today we are living very differently. We travel in vehicles, sit for long hours, screen timing has been increased, and movements are very little. This changes has been increased day to day lifestyle. What we eat, the sugar level from our food which we are intaking is not used by the muscles. That's why the sugar level has been increased. And due to that, the increased sugar, insulin has been not used properly because the levels are very high. And due to that, the accumulation of fat is there in our belly. And the you know plaque formation happens because of the excessive fat and using sugar properly, blood vessels. So for that, physical activity is important for making your blood pressure or diabetes work properly. The physical activity is the only key. Like it goes, I always say, two-wheeler may first wheel is the one diet and the second one is physical activity. So it small daily movements can be a powerful difference in a long-term health. So you should do at least 60 minutes of physical activities 6 days a week by including strength training, flexibility, and cardio. The combination is most important thing, just not only the one. Okay. The fourth point is the most important point is chronic stress and the poor sleep. So basically, stress is the normal part of the life. Short-term stress like preparing for exam, meeting, deadline, uh, a particular thing which is regular, and It goes from situation to situation. But the chronic stress happens when it is happening for a week, for a month, without any relief because of constant work pressure, financial worry, long term emotional strength, physical stress. You know, the stress becomes chronic. The body stayed in the alert mode, like alarm baja hua, and the hormones like cortisol remain constantly high. This affects the blood sugar level control, increase the appetite, rise in the blood pressure because it's like a alarm. And the storage of fat is also been increased in our body. And because of that, the risk of the comorbidities as obesity and mental health is also increasing. And the cherry on the worst cake is like poor sleep. So the most important thing is like people do it like I will sleep for weekends, but I will cope up when I'm working nowadays. In my 5 days of week, I'll only sleep weekdays. No, you can't do that. At least minimum body needs regular sleeps of 6 to 7 hours minimum because sleep cycle gives the balance to your hormonal cycle and you will feel tired. You need these are the symptoms. If you feel tired, you need a caffeine to function, feeling irritable, poor focus. These are the symptoms if you are lack in the sleep. So balanced sleep is something. Stress management is extremely essential for long-term health. Coming to the upcoming point, fifth point is substance abuse and addiction. Substance abuse is often start not because of the weakness, but because of the we are trying to cope up with our emotions. Sometimes we use smoking, alcohol, other than substances to suppress the stress, sadness, pressure, anxiety. Emotions are not expressed or handled in healthy ways. Properly, the people can turn to, emotional avoidance and we use as a tool of, you know, emotional avoidance. We feel helpless, helpful that, okay, it will calm down. But it is, it is harmful so much to us that it increase the inflammation and there is such a long term that it can raise and be the cause of cancer also. Okay, addiction can be a person who has when you're losing control because of the substance use, that is called as addiction. Like, so if you're using in a constantly, signs of addiction are needing more to feeling the same effect, feeling like restlessness, hiding the use, or continuing despite health or relationship problem. For example, like nowadays, the substance use is so common that in party, if some person says, "I do not drink," it becomes awkward. So there, they needs awareness and drinking because of peer pressure or friends, colleagues is usually common in office parties. The coming to the next part is
Megha, sorry, just to interrupt you for a moment, we will have to move very, very quickly because we are running out of time. So if we can quickly move through this slide, we would want to spend more time on the dietary changes, the strategies that you want to share.
sure. I'll just cover up in 2 3 points. So majorly the screen timing. Because of the screen timings, we have two types like of screen timing. One time when we do because of our work related, or sometime we spare time when we are having, just we are scrolling and scrolling it out. So there is just a one rule: don't use, you should have a timer for the spare time use. And if you're having work related more screen timings, averagely it's 12 hours, people use their screen timings. So just 20-20 rules, 20 minutes focus on the screen, 20 minutes, 20 feet see outside the window or anywhere for 20 seconds. This is something, a small tip which I can give you. There are food patterns also hampering. I'll just cover up quickly. So dietary pattern is something which is very common nowadays. Skipping meals, eating very frequently outside, low intake of fruits and vegetables is very common. The problem is because of that, late night screen eating, or irritated bowel syndrome, poor meal plannings are there, and because of that, the dietary pattern is completely hampered. Um, Poor meal plannings will see how we can get it the key and further style. Um and generally when people say, I have a genetic makeup, my both the parents have diabetes, I will usually have a diabetes, so let me enjoy today, let me eat what I am eating. So no, you have to be very constantly, by changing your lifestyle you can solve this problem. Now coming to the last point, at the 8 point, the most important of this slide is the having high processed food. So processed food and ultra processed food, there are two different parts. Processed food are bread, curd, cheese, and the packet foods which we eat. And ultra processed foods are, like, they needs more processing, as the ingredient list goes like 15-20. So when you are have going to purchase it out, see the labels of it, read label wisely, because sugar has not been written as a sugar. There are different names of sugar, usually we see. That's why. Now let's jump into this upcoming slides, because those are the main one. So the most important things which we need to see it out in our day-to-day life, uh, is dietary strategies which we need to take it very seriously. Building muscles around, you know uh, let's me take like sequentially. Okay. So the first, build your meals around the whole day. Now, what I mean is your, like, building meals with whole foods as a fruits, because nowadays we are having a more kind of processed foods, which is more common, and because of that we are tend to have, like, I can just explain you with example, as people is having a saying that no, I'm eating a very healthy food because I'm having a juice. No, that's something which is misunderstood by the people, and tend to the problem is nowadays the processed food is so high that we lose our conscious eating pattern thing. Simple, like eating salad in a meal, or using a juice, that is some thing contradictory. Coming up to the second point, I think I lost contact. Do not skip protein at any time of your meals. So includes dal, curd, paneer, tofu, or fish uh, for non-vegetarian sources. So how to incorporate, like right from a breakfast to your dinner, you should have any kind of protein, like any form. It could be a form of curd when you're having with your breakfast. It could be with your lunch, a portion of dal or a grilled paneer or a chicken. It any form you can have. Eat regular meal at a time. If you're not eating regular meal, you will disturb your digestion system and panel also. Because of that, the hormonal problem rises nowadays. And to manage it out, we need to at least see the sequencing of a meal. If we plan it out and eat at regular timings, uh, these problems can be solved. I know corporates have a problem, but having a nuts at your side, or having something that you can eat while working, as in a wrap or paneer wrap or something, it can solve the problems of eating at time. Now, controlling the portion size is one of the most important thing, because junk foods only not give uh, the problem. If you're not eating in a quantity, the quantity is not stable, then you will end up having a problem of weight gaining. Even the right food can give you the weight gain. So the quantity is always important when it comes to the diet. Choosing healthy cooking methods. So always a deep fried thing is a tastiest. We love to have a deep fry. Uh, Samosa, vada pav, vagera, everything. But modifying it with some, use of air fryer or a microwave, or using steaming, grilling, can make the process simpler also and taste better, and you can enjoy the food. That's the key, like, thing, managing it out, including healthy fats. So, fat is, it's a biggest myth that fat is evil. Fat is one of the most important thing. Using fat in the form of nuts, milk and milk product which are toned. If you're using any kind of oil for a vagar of your vegetables or a tadka, then you can have that, but it should be like 20 to 25 ml per day. So a 1 teaspoon for a one vagar is okay. There's no problem. If you're having a fish, then a grilled fish is one of the a best way for omega 3, as well as a good source of protein. Next, please. So stay hydration, but mind your liquid calories. It's one of the best thing to hydrate yourself. Now, because of the air condition and our lifestyle, the hydration is something which is hampered a lot. So using of buttermilk, lemonade without salt and sugar, you can make a lemonade. Herbal tea or a water of jeera water or a ajwain water is the best source. You can add on a liquids, but liquid calories should manage. If you're having a juice, or you're having a soft drinks, or you're having something which have a tetra pack shakes, so avoid those things, because liquids also carry calories and abundance of sugar intake in our day-to-day life. In the hustle of a daily schedule, planning a meal beforehand is one of the best things. So plan meal ahead despite of your busy schedule. So many a times we counsel our all the people that you should plan your weekly. You know that you're going to travel. You know how to manage it out your day. So carry your tiffin or carry a roll with you, some makhana, nuts, or a fruit, whole fruits you can carry, as an a guava, apple, banana, while traveling, so you can eat. Otherwise you will end up having outside food. You will order it out, because you can't at the moment. You can suppress your hunger by having a caffeine or something, but afterwards you will feel, hungry, and you will end up eating just an empty calories, which is one of the most poisonous thing in the lifestyle diseases. The first thing and the foremost thing is managing your meals at a time. Now, eating mindful is something which is we are losing from our day-to-day life, because in front of screen we end up eating a whole ice cream tub, or we are going out, we are talking, and we are just ending up eating. So giving a gratitude while eating, or just don't see, like, if you are eating in front of screen, then take a certain amount of portion and enjoy that portion. Don't repeat it out. Don't sit with the maximum portion of like as an ice cream tub or a popcorn or something and eat. So take a very quantitative portion if you're enjoying in a theater, like while watching a movies or a series in your laptop. Support your gut health. Now, gut health is one of the biggest problem, including fiber rich foods in your day to day life. Now, fermented food, fiber rich foods can be easily incorporated to help your gut health in the form of prebiotics or a probiotics, like curd, or idli, or in a form of kanji, or in the form of sprouts, so that the gut health flora is been increased wisely. Now, coming to the next point is limiting late night eating. This is something which has been major cause. If you're having a night shift, then also you need to carry your meals at a time, otherwise you'll end up overloading the carbs. And there should be a gap of 2 to 4 hours maximum in the screen timing and your sleeping time. Read books, talk to your family members, hydrate yourself, and do some bedding or praying, so that you get a sound sleep also, and you're not eating, because if you are sleeping by 2 3, automatically you'll feel hungry. And people ask, what is the healthiest thing which we can eat at the late night? And I always say there is nothing healthy when you eat at late night. So eating before 11 o'clock is the ideal time. If you are shift workers, then manage your timings, but then carry a tiffin or eat a lighter food to prevent the acidity. The balancing your plate, how to balance your plate. I always say balancing is your plate is an art, and you should know that art. So how to balance your meal and your plate? So take a one portion of one veggies initially. It should be half of it. It could be in a form of sabji, stir fry vegetables, or salads, whatever is there. Then a half portion, 1/4 portion of a protein. It could be in a form of curd, milk, or pulses, or sprouts, whatever is available. If you're non-vegetarian, then egg, grilled fish, grilled chicken. I would not suggest a red meat, because it has a high fat level, and the preparation is also mandatory. What and how are you preparing? The third thing is the greens. So 1/4 portion should be the greens. Any kind of cereals or millets you can incorporate to fulfill the plate. It should be include protein, fiber, and healthy fat in your plate. And once you complete the one portion of it, you want to repeat it out. The people tend to repeat only the carbs. Then I'll eat the chapati, but no, I say take again one portion of salads, one portion of your protein in the form of dal or a curry, whatever you eat, and then you take the cereals. That's how you should manage your plate. Next slides, please. So here comes the major thing which I always want to incorporate, that how to make or build a lifestyle profile with the help of dietitian. People usually come and say, can I get the diet plan, like just tips or something? I can give a leaflet, but the diet plan needs certain things which every dietitian looks. And if it's not looking this pointers, then she is just giving a leaflet, or she is not the one who is following the ethical method of dietary advices one should give. So medical history and a current diagnosis is one of the most important thing. Because of that, we are educated what is going to it. So looking for the biochemical parameters, I always indulge that go and get the test. Many a time before doctors, we diagnose the problem and we ask them to go to the physician and then come back to us again. Dietary pattern and the nutrition adequacy. So everyone has a different dietary pattern, and because of that, we need to adjust it out. I can ask the night shift worker to wake up at 12 o'clock in the afternoon and eat at that time. I need to manage his dietary pattern, his timing, and his the portion what he's at eating, in that, to balance it out his problem, as well as solving the dietary advices, which is practically possible. As diet and physical activity goes hand in hand, physical activity level is also seen. If the sedentary level people is there, we counsel them to increase the physical activity, which helps to maintain the weight. And the major part is the calorie intake and the calorie expenditure should be balanced it out. It should not be the intake is high and the balance, we are having much more expenditure is there. Usually it should be vice versa. The expenditure should be more and the intake is low. But due to our lifestyle, we are tend to having the opposite thing. Now, the major factor, because the food is been hamper is sleep, stress, and work routine. So managing the sleep, the mood swings. Usually females have certain days where they have a mood to eat. So we don't say that do not eat anything. Eat in a limit. And how much to eat, that is the counseling part comes that each dietitian do. And the last thing which I really wanted to incorporate is social culture and the behavior factors. So, socially, if the person is a Jain or a person is believing in certain things, we follow that and we give the dietary advices that. And as an example, if a South Indian is coming with a diabetes, I can ask them that don't eat rice. No, I'll give him the rice. The portion will be changed, the amount will be changed, and the options will be changes. Coming to the next slide is the test what we should look, and the health checkups. So this is the detailed slide we'll be giving in our PDF form also through the links. You can take it out. There are other advices also, dietary advices one should have.
Uh, Megha, I think we'll probably just close on this. We've run out of time. So we will just
Okay.
focus on this as the last slide to just tell people about the tests that they should be doing. If you just want to tell them about the tests that you were telling me that you actually look at, dietitians actually look at.
Okay, sure. So there are the tests, like basically there are many tests, but these are the sums. As a dietitian, I usually see the major part is vitamin D deficiency, B12 deficiency, and the iron deficiency. These are the deficiency which has been commonly seen in our day-to-day life. If you are a non-diabetic or any person having no comorbidities, then also like basic HbA1c, liver profile, kidney profile, you should do once in a week. And if you feel lethargic or the stress level is high, then go for the ECG at least once in a year above the 35 years. So deficiencies are normal nowadays, But how to solve, we can, do it. We can have one question answer session.
And if anybody wants a screenshot of the slides that we have shown here about the tests that you should do and also the dietary strategies that you could follow, you could download the slides from this link. We'll open the space up for any questions that anyone might have. And we'll also hand it over to Ritesh.
Yes, as we wrap up today's session, remember this: diseases don't appear overnight, and neither does good health. It's the small everyday choices we make that shape our long-term well-being. Thank you, Megha, for guiding us through this session. Thank you to all of you for joining us today and taking an important step toward preventive health. Stay tuned for more Wellness Wednesday session and do follow Onsurity for upcoming event resources. And the link tree, I'll be posting our Onsurity link tree over the chat right now. And yes, take care, stay mindful of your health, and we'll see you at the next video. Thank you.